Well, tomorrow marks 25 years since the disappearance of Asha Degree. Tonight, though, officials are revealing more about developments in the investigation that actually led to a search of properties across Cleveland County.
For 24 years, the disappearance of Asha Degree has been a ghost story. It was a case defined by its silence. A child walks into a storm, vanishes into the woods, and leaves behind only a trail of breadcrumbs that lead nowhere. A backpack buried in the dirt, a candy wrapper in a shed, a sighting of a green car that no one could find. The case was frozen until September of 2024. On a quiet Tuesday morning, the silence broke. The FBI, the SBI, and the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office descended on a property on Cherryville Road. They brought cadaver dogs. They brought ground-penetrating radar, and most chillingly, they brought a tow truck. For decades, investigators hunted a white whale, or rather, a green one. Witnesses has described a 1970s Lincoln, or Thunderbird. But as the vehicle was hauled away from the property in 2024, the silhouette under the tarp looked terrifyingly familiar. An AMC Rambler, dark green, a car from another era, hidden away for a quarter of a century. We are no longer looking for a ghost. We are looking at a crime scene. Search warrants executed in September 2024 have turned the Asha Degree case upside down, pointing toward the local family and a specific location that has been there, hiding in plain sight the entire time. Welcome back to Frigma. To understand the gravity of what was found in that house in 2024, we have to go back to the beginning. We have to go back to the night the front door opened and the nightmare began. February 14, 2000, Valentine's Day. The Degree family lived on Oak Crest Street in Shelby, North Carolina. It was a life defined by routine and protection. Harold and Akila Degree were vigilant parents. They built a fortress around their children, 9-year-old Asha and 10-year-old O'Brien. There was no internet access in the home, no cell phones. The dangers of the outside world were kept at bay by deadbolts and strict curfews. Asha herself was the opposite of a runaway. She was shy, she was an honor roll student, and crucially for the psychological profile of this case, she was terrified of the dark. She wouldn't even walk down the hallway of her own home without a light on. She was afraid of dogs. She was afraid of storms. Yet, the working theory for years was that this child, paralyzed by these specific fears, voluntarily walked into a freezing thunderstorm in the middle of the night. It never made sense, not until you consider that she wasn't walking away from something. She was walking toward something or someone. The timeline begins to fracture 2 days prior. Saturday, February 12th. Asha's basketball team loses a game. She fouls out. She cries. It's a moment of disappointment, typical for a child athlete. Her parents comfort her. By Sunday, she seems fine. She watches her brother play. She spends time with her grandmother. There is no sign of distress, no sign of a plan. Sunday night, February 13th, a car accident nearby knocks out the power to the neighborhood. The house goes dark. The power eventually returns. Harold Degree, working the second shift, comes home around 12:30 a.m. A storm is raging outside, heavy rain, wind, temperatures hovering near freezing. He checks the children. They are asleep in their beds. At 2:30 a.m., Harold checks them one last time before he goes to sleep. Asha is there. She is safe. She's wearing her nightgown. This is the last time Harold Degree will ever see his daughter. Between 2:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m., the impossible happens. Asha gets out of bed. O'Brien, her brother, hears the squeak of the mattress. He hears movement. He assumes she's going to the bathroom or shifting in her sleep. He rolls over. But Asha isn't going to the bathroom. She's preparing. She packs her book bag. She takes clothes. She takes her house key. This detail, the key, is haunting. You don't take a key if you're running away forever. You take a key if you plan to come back. You take a key if you think you're just stepping out for a short time. She dressed in white jeans and a white shirt, not a raincoat, not a heavy winter jacket, just light clothing for a freezing, wet night. She unlocked the door, she stepped into the rain, and then she locked the door behind her. Why? Why would a child afraid of the dark leave the safety of her home to walk into a store? The 2024 investigation has brought a terrifying new context to this moment. For years, we asked why she left. Now we have to ask, who was waiting? Was the green car already idling down the street? Was there a promise made? Come outside, I have something for you. It will only take a minute. We now know that investigators seized electronic devices from the Deadman property in 2024. While Asha had no internet, is it possible the grooming happened the old-fashioned way? A familiar face, someone from the community. Asha walked off the porch and onto Highway 18. She began to walk south. At 3:45 a.m., truck driver Jeff Rupi is navigating the storm on Highway 18. He sees a figure in his headlights, a small person dressed in white, walking the shoulder. He thinks it's a woman. He turns his 18-wheeler around, concerned for her safety. When he pulls up alongside her, the figure doesn't ask for help. She doesn't wave. Asha looks at the truck and runs. She flees off the road, down an embankment, and into the darkness of the woods. This reaction is critical. She wasn't looking for any adult. She was avoiding them. She ran from the trucker. Was she instructed to? Don't talk to anyone. Don't let anyone see you. Just come to me. A short time later, a second trucker, Roy Blanton, sees her. She's back on the road, walking south again. She's determined. She has a destination. This is the last time Asha Degree was seen alive. For 24 years, we believed she vanished into the void. But the recent raids suggest she didn't just vanish, she was collected. The location where she was last seen is just over a mile from her home. It is a lonely stretch of road, but it is also a corridor that connects to Cherryville Road. The distance between where Asha was last seen and the property raided by the FBI in 2024 is not vast. It is a local area. After she ran from the trucker, she sought shelter. And this is where the physical evidence begins to tell a story that investigators have been piecing together for 2 decades. A story that finally exploded into public view this September. She found a shed. Asha Degree ran from the truck driver and vanished into the darkness. But she didn't disappear immediately. She sought shelter. 3 days after she went missing, on February 17th, searchers made the first discovery. About a mile south of the Degree home, on a property owned by the Turner family, stood an old upholstery and tractor shed. It was a structure with no electricity, no heat, just a roof and walls to block the wind. Inside, they found evidence of a child's presence. Candy wrappers, specifically wrappers for the candy Asha had been given at the basketball game 2 days prior. Along with the wrappers, they found a pencil, a green marker, and a yellow hair bow shaped like a teddy bear. Her parents confirmed these items belonged to Asha. This paints a harrowing picture. Asha, cold and wet, hiding in a stranger's shed, eating candy for comfort. But she left something else behind. A wallet-sized photograph of a young girl. But the girl in the photo was not Asha. To this day, the girl in the photo remains unidentified. Was it something Asha found there? Or was it something she brought with her? A token, a photo of a friend she was supposed to meet. The shed was a temporary stop. Asha didn't stay there. And when she left, she didn't walk home. She didn't walk to a neighbor's house. She seemingly evaporated. Or she was picked up. For 18 months, there was nothing. No sightings, no clues. The trail had gone cold. Then, on August 3, 2001, a contractor digging a driveway in Burke County, 26 miles north of where Asha was last seen, unearthed a black plastic bag. It was Asha's backpack. This wasn't just discarded. It was double wrapped in trash bags and buried. Someone took the time to preserve it. Someone wanted to hide it, but couldn't bring themselves to destroy it. This is a behavior often seen in predators who keep trophies. Inside the bag were her clothes and her house key. But there were two items that didn't belong to her. First, a library book, McElligot's Pool by Dr. Seuss. It wasn't from her school library. Second, a white t-shirt featuring the boy band New Kids on the Block. Asha was 9 in the year 2000. New Kids on the Block were popular a decade prior. This wasn't her shirt. It was an artifact from the past. This shirt has always been the smoking gun of the grooming theory. Did an older person give it to her? Was it a hand-me-down from a sibling of the person she met? The location of the bag, 26 miles away, changed the scope of the investigation. Asha couldn't have walked there. She was transported. She was in a vehicle. And for 24 years, investigators have been looking for that vehicle. Witnesses from the night of the disappearance reported seeing a car, a dark green car, maybe a 1970s Lincoln Continental Mark IV, maybe a Ford Thunderbird. It was described as having rust around the wheel wells. It was seen occupied by two people. It was seen circling the area where Asha was walking. For 2 decades, the green car became the Loch Ness monster of this case. It was a phantom. Everyone looked for it. No one found it. In 2016, the FBI reissued the BOLO, or Be on the Lookout, for this specific car. They believed it was the key. But memories fade. Witness descriptions can be unreliable. Was it really a Lincoln? Was it really a Thunderbird? Or was it something similar? Something close enough to fool a witness in the dark and rain, but specific enough to be identified by experts. Fast forward to September 2024. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and the FBI execute a search warrant on Cherryville Road. They aren't looking for a Lincoln anymore. They towed away a vehicle that had seemingly been kept on the property for decades, an AMC Rambler. To the untrained eye in the dark, an AMC Rambler shares a silhouette with other 70s sedans. It fits the description, it fits the timeline, and most importantly, it fits the location. The car was found on a property belonging to the Dedman family. This wasn't a random seizure. This was the result of new information. In 2024, investigators didn't just stumble upon this car. They came for it. And they didn't just take the car. They took DNA samples. They took electronics. They took items that could finally link the girl in the store to the people in the house. The discovery of the green car isn't just a clue. It is the bridge between the myth and the reality. The phantom vehicle that haunted this case for 24 years was real. It was parked just a few miles down the road. But who was driving it? And what happened to Asha after she got inside? How do you solve a 24-year-old mystery when all the physical traits have washed away? You turn to the one thing that never forgets: biology. The raid in September 2024 didn't happen in a vacuum. Law enforcement doesn't seize vintage cars and dig up driveways based on a hunch. They need probable cause. And in modern cold cases, probable cause almost always comes from one source: genetic genealogy. For 2 decades, the items in Asha's backpack, and specifically the New Kids on the Block nightshirt and the Dr. Seuss book, sat in an evidence locker. But technology has evolved. Touch DNA, skin cells left behind by mere contact, can now be sequenced and uploaded to public genealogy databases. If the predator touched that shirt, or if the person who gave her that shirt left their genetic signature on it, investigators could track them down, not by finding them directly, but by finding their relatives. While the FBI has not officially confirmed the specific DNA hit, the search warrants executed in Cleveland County targeted the property of the Dedman family, Roy Dedman and his former wife, Connie. This connects the dots in a way that is chillingly simple. Asha Degree was a child. The Dedmans operated a care facility nearby. They were known in the community. Did their paths cross? Well, the connection goes deeper than just proximity. Reports indicate that investigators were looking for a specific link to the girl in the unidentified photo found in the shed. Was she a relative of the Dedmans? Was she another child in their orbit? And then there is the car. The AMC Rambler found on the property matches the description of the vehicle seen circling Asha that night. If DNA linked the backpack to the Dedman family, and the car matches the witness description, the net is closing. With the new evidence, the narrative of February 14, 2000 shifts from a runaway scenario to an abduction by coercion. Asha didn't run away, she was lured. Imagine the scenario. Someone she knows, someone she trusts, or perhaps simply an adult figure she recognizes from the community, tells her to meet them. "I have something for you. It's a surprise." She packs a bag. She takes a key because she thinks she's coming back. She locks the door. She walks down the road. The truck drivers scare her because they aren't who she's waiting for. She hides in the shed, and then the green car arrives. The car she was told to look for. She gets in. She's driven 26 miles north. Something happens. The plan changes. Or perhaps the plan was always sinister. The backpack is buried. The items are hidden. And the car is driven back to Cherryville Road, where it is parked in a garage, covered with a tarp, and left to gather dust for 24 years. The suspect, Roy Dedman, has denied involvement. His lawyer states that Roy has no connection to Asha Degree. But the FBI doesn't bring cadaver dogs unless they are looking for a body. The search of the Dedman property in 2024 wasn't just a document sweep. They were digging. They were looking for human remains. This suggests that investigators believed Asha Degree never left the area alive. For Harold and Nikhil Degree, the last 24 years have been a torture that few of us can comprehend. They have lived in the same house, kept the same phone number, and prayed to the same God, waiting for an answer. They have walked Highway 18 every year. They have kept her memory alive when the rest of the world wanted to move on. The raids in September 2024 are not a conviction. No arrests have been formally made as of this recording, but they are the first real sign that the wall of silence is crumbling. The green car is no longer a myth, it is an evidence base. The DNA is no longer a mystery, it is being analyzed. The backpack is no longer just a lost item, it is the map that led us here. We are closer now than we have ever been. The pieces of the puzzle, the candy, the shed, the t-shirt, the car, are finally fitting together into a picture of what happened that night. Asha Degree walked into the store and vanished, but she didn't disappear, she was taken, and the people who took her made a mistake. They kept the car, they kept the secrets. But secrets, like buried backpacks, have a way of surfacing. When the storm is over, the truth is coming.